Hey world, welcome back to another awesome episode of Be Inspired Podcast where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. I have another awesome guest on the line. Her name is Kanika. She's a business expansion coach who helps service provider grow revenue faster by converting more sales calls, increasing inbound leads by stronger messaging and positioning. She's an awesome guest and I'm looking forward to all the gems, all the tips she has to give us tonight on our podcast. All right. But before we get into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to Creative Dream Collective. She does our flyers, she does our logos. If you need any designs or anything like that, go ahead and subscribe. Click the link below. Her information is in the bottom, as well as Kanika. If she says anything that resonates with you, her information is also going to be linked on this video. All right. We're going to release it this Sunday. And then I want to thank everybody who tunes in every week to listen to this show. We appreciate you. Go ahead and like, subscribe. If any comments come up, go ahead and comment. Let's have a conversation in the chat. All right. So, Kanika, thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for inviting me.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw and just wanted to get you on here so you could share your experience and talk to us about how to skyrocket your business.
Yeah, I think. And truly, this is a wonderful question because, there are lots of small business owners who start their business every year. And then all across the world, it's ranges like 25% to 50%, even more people who then close their businesses in the next 2 to 4 years. So somebody's taken their dreams, they have really put it all up, put their heart, put a lot of hard work into it, started their business, told their families this is what they're doing. And then, because they were not able to make a profit, they've closed it. And when I see that, when I feel that with people, because I've been there, I've also felt like closing my business. And on the other side, I go like, well, if only people could just have more clients. Because most often times, it is not the quality of the work. It's more finding clients. It's more just getting that engagement that leads people to closing their business. And so I feel so inspired to help people generate those leads, then convert them into clients so that they can have a profitable business, creating that impact, improving lives the way they really wanted to in the very beginning.
So you said you also had a business that you had to close down. So first, Kanika, what led you to deciding to jump into business?
I have been interested in business all the time. I have an MBA degree. I have worked for more than 16 years across like big global brands. So there has been that passion of business all along because otherwise I just wouldn't have done it so long, right? I've helped businesses grow, and yet doing it at my own end, that was challenging when I started to move out of corporate role and then start up my own coaching business. That's a hard thing. I didn't actually close it, but I did come very close to closing it
Mhm.
um, because it was just harder. I was a wonderful coach. I was getting great feedback. Getting clients was really hard. And that's when I actually took up coaching myself, like getting coached from other people, and invested in sales courses, invested in coaching to just see what was I not doing right and rectify myself. I actually spent a lot of money. I have spent more than $60,000. I'm not even kidding, learning so much because I did something and then something worked and something didn't work. And we feel at the one end of it, it seems like the business is not working. It's one statement, but there's so many things that happen. For example, with me, I got a hang of converting the sales. Like when a client really came in, I could understand, okay, how do I really get them to enroll? That became easy. But then even before that, you have to have people to come in and talk. There's so many pieces. Let me break a few down. As a business owner, first of all, you have any sort of online presence or even in-person presence. What are you saying? Are people coming in and listening to you? So that's your first, like, think of it as your shop front. It's It's a walking, talking, impressing shop front that makes people come in. We may or may not understand, but we might be losing clients there. So if you talk about what you do and people understand within the first minute, or people are asking you questions, that's a good sign. That means that you've nailed this part. At least they're getting it, they're interested, right? That's
Yeah.
like one of the signals to watch out for. But then there could be other things where, mm, and I also did it for a really long time. Now I teach my clients how not to do it. People can get really carried away explaining their message, and they can be really passionate, which is lovely, fantastic. But the message gets lost, your transformation gets lost because it does not resonate as much to the prospect on the other side. So, even though if you have like the first conversation, that is really good. Maybe you and I are having a chat in person or online, or you've just seen my social media, that's very good. It's great. It gets the shop attention. But then maybe they go to the website or they see something else or your next post and it is disjointed. Guess what? The lead's gone. Especially in the online world, they're gone because they don't see how it all links together. So the one posted really well and the other ones confuse the story. Now, let's say you've done these bits together really well, and then your person is really coming in. This time they're more interested. So your first message, whatever got their attention, maybe this is where you were even putting your ads, and that got their attention. Then they search you, they find you, they go like, oh, this is what I like. I would want to come in. And then they come into your world. They might like something, they might comment something, they might just even lurk around in the background, maybe just even take a freebie and do nothing with it. But they're still at least in your world, like
Yeah.
they're interested, right? Now, with these people, then you want to bring them into the shop. It's more like now you've turned them from the window shopping experience to just inviting them into your shop. So you're still not doing a buying conversation, but you've just got them inside the shop and they're just there. That entry has happened. But then how do you engage that? Maybe you are doing some DM conversations with them. Maybe this is your newsletter or this is your email nurture sequence. How are you following up with them? That's a part where you can lose your clients as well. How are you doing
Right.
it without being salesy, but just understanding, hey, what are you looking for? Like, how can I help you in the shop right now? That's that part. And then after that, finally, when you've done this, and now when you're wanting to understand more about your client, this is a part that a lot of businesses struggle with. We think we know our client, but you do not know why that person is buying that product or not buying that product. Like it's very, very unique to them. The Sam, the Jane, the Andrew, like they all have their stories. Why are they buying it? How was their day like? Maybe somebody's wife is telling them something, and this is the reason for them to really act up. Maybe for the other person, their health is acting up, so they want to have a solution. But what is that why? Why are they doing it now? Because once you understand that bit, then you understand how you can actually help them or not help them.
True.
Once
Yeah.
that is clear, then the sales conversation is actually a lot easier because now you know so much about them and then getting clients get easy. So it's a lot of puzzles, pieces that come together.
Yeah, I like how you break it down of like how you got to get them into the store and they got to be interested in first. And getting into the store, then also being able to engage them in a way that doesn't push them away. So I like how you broke it all down of what we would experience. Say that you are a new person or you're speaking to someone new and they're just trying to scale the business. You broke down how to get the person to see them. But what is one tip that you could give them that would help them get their first sale?
Amazing. I love the question. And I always say keep it simple, keep it really simple. Focus on even just the smallest things that you can do, but do them right. So maybe you are selling on the Instagram channel, or maybe your main channel is LinkedIn. Whatever social media presence or whatever in person presence you have, focus on that and just do that really well first. Then you might extend it. So if you're looking at Instagram, and any channel will work pretty much the same way, but you look at one channel, people will come in because of one story, people will come in because of one reel, right? That's what they're seeing the first time. But you want that whole space to be coherent and to tell them a little story about you. like who you are, why is it that they should even be interested, what is your shop about, right? This is your shop front. So that should be really clear for them so that then they're willing to engage and just keep it on that platform. And once they come in, then you work with them in the DMs. But in the DMs, you focus more on them, not on you. You understand them. What do they want to buy? Why do they want to buy? And then help them make a decision. And that's the easiest rather than getting and thinking like, oh, I've got to do websites or I've got to do funnels or I've got to do ads. No, whatever you've got, actually break it down. And literally, like I said, when people were outside the shop, what are they experiencing? When people come to the shop, what does your shop front look like? And that experience for the customer first, really break everything down into steps and then look at every single step in that funnel. Then see the weakest part. You will find that maybe the story is not coherent, or maybe you're losing people. They start talking to you and then they suddenly ghost you. Like, you will know after a few interactions this is happening. Focus on the weakest part, fix that first, get that revenue. And because it's a continuous cycle as well. When you get one right, then you also know with every client experience, you learn more about your ideal client profile. You can build and improve that more. So focus on just exactly what you've got, improve it till it starts working, then multiply it. And then after that, once you can multiply, as in you can put more effort there so that you're getting more results there, and you would go ahead and you can scale now by adding more channels. So having your shop in multiple places.
You said something important there as far as like focusing more on the client than you. And as a new person that is trying to make money on a line, they're trying to focus on, oh man, I gotta make this sale so I could pay the bills. What is one thing that you could tell that person that could help them get out of the mindset of letting go of paying the bills and focus on service?
Okay, I love it. And I'll give you an analogy, right? Let's say you go to a party and you just find the partner of your dreams, like the perfect person. Like this is the one that you want to go out with. Like this is the person, right? And you can see your life with them. You can totally see that they don't know you, but you can see that you can have kids with them, like whatever your future dream is, you can totally see yourself living that life, right? What will you do to get that person? For sure, you will not walk up to them and you won't say, hey, I want you, I like you, and we're going to have kids together. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be your line, right? Right. So when you see your prospects, don't do the same, because we see the prospect and we go like, hey, do you want my product? You're creeping them out.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't creep them out. You want to go on a date with your prospect. You just want to get them in. You want to get them interesting. You want to get them interested. So just let them come into your world, like play it cool, the same things that you would do to get your partner. You get them interested, you take them on dates. In this case, you are looking after your client and you are truly wanting to understand what do they want, why do they want something, and you're helping them with that value. And that serving then makes them a client, or it may not make them a client, but it still helps you build your brand, because sometimes people will come back in some time. Maybe they were not ready then, maybe they will recommend somebody else to you. But as a business, your value is in serving. So don't creep out your prospects. Allow them to be interested. Allow
Yeah.
them to find you interesting. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. So leading with value and service is the biggest things to help you get out
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Don't
Uh,
plan baby names.
or the wedding, we're gonna get married here.
Yeah.
Nice. So maybe a new person is saying that I have a lot of positive reviews. Everybody thinks I'm a great coach, but it doesn't reciprocate. I'm not seeing a lot of sales. What would you tell that person, or what advice as a business coach would you give that person?
We would sit and diagnose what's happening. And I would love to look at your sales call, because just like this example, as much as we laughed about it, that don't creep them out, uh, don't just plan the wedding at the first meeting. But very often people do that. Very often, especially on LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere, you get bombarded. Don't you get those messages where people are like, hey, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. And like, well, I never asked for it.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with the brand ambassador ones too.
Yeah. And then sales conversations could be something like that, or they could be different. Sometimes people might not even just be pitching, or sometimes coaches, especially, can fall into this trap that they over explain their things. So they go like, well, this is the transformation that I can offer. And then they feel, oh, the other person is not understanding it. So maybe I should explain more. No, more of what you were not able to do in the first case does not fix it. Stop. Think why it is not getting across because you have not understood your prospect. The best tip
Right.
that I can give you for a sales call is like, just shut up. Like, don't talk. Let your prospect talk. If you can come to maybe 10% or 20% of you talking in the whole sales call,
Uh-huh.
and they are talking for the rest of the time, you will already see just a very big increase in your conversion rate. That sales call is a service. It is more about understanding what your client wants, helping them understand that they need to solve that problem, and helping them see that you are the solution. And you can do it more by questions rather than statements and rather than speaking. So shut up respectfully. I love everybody who's listening to this, but just be quiet and
Yeah,
let the other person talk. You will do yourself and your prospects a huge service.
yeah. Focusing on their pain, focusing on what they're struggling with, and you being the solution versus, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let them
100%.
understand it. Mhm.
Yeah. You talk a lot about being a business coach, about the sales process. What can you tell somebody about they have an expertise and they want to turn it into a business that actually grows? What is some tips that you could give them?
Okay, beautiful. The first thing that we have to see is that what are you wanting to bring to the market? And let's really look at where is the market demand, right? Oftentimes, what I find is people get stuck to an idea that this is what I want, and there can just be flavors of it that people might find more interesting. So, good test to do this is just even don't start building yet, don't start doing anything yet, but your offer, whatever you're really thinking of doing, start sharing it with strangers. Let's say you're taking an Uber ride, share it with the taxi driver. See if she has any questions. If they're leaning in, like just share it with strangers. You go buy a coffee or you're just having random conversation on the subway. Talk to people then and tell them this is what I'm planning to do. If people seem interested, if people go like, yeah, my friend like so and so would be interested, or they ask you questions, it means you're hitting the spot. If people just glaze over and they sort of move on to something else, you can understand that they're not understanding. Means like, you need to do some work. And it does
Yeah,
not mean that you are very off the mark. It just means you need refining. So it's just feedback. Don't give up, but look at the process, break it step by step. What part did somebody understand? How can you say it again? So it's a very simple exercise. Just go around talking to people, go around taking Uber rides, or just take the metro and spend a long time traveling. But when you're talking to strangers, you will keep getting the feedback, keep understanding until you will land to a place and you'll go like, oh yeah, every time I said this, people started getting it. When people get it, that is the product or the service that you want to build.
I like that. Focusing on what you're good at and then also taking it to another level. I like it. What are some of the pitfalls as a business owner, being in business 16 years? What are some of the things that you've experienced on building your journey that you had to learn and grow from?
Oh, good one. So I have been in business in the corporate world, and then I have been in business on my own. And they're very different things. In the corporate world, you get a lot of structure. There are parameters within which you operate. When you do it on your own, it's a wide open field. It is such a freeing thing and is such a freaking scary thing because suddenly there's no manual, there's no steps, there's nothing like you do this and then you do this. You don't clearly get the signs all the time if things are working or not. But hopefully, I've given some strategies already. You will start seeing in things when they're not working. Like when you're wanting to test your market before you go in and do something, test the demand. Then, once you do that, you will keep getting feedback. You just have to notice it in your online interactions or personal interactions. You have to notice when people come in and when they're talking. You just have to be receptive to that and see if those parts are really converting or not. But some of the things that people need to get really comfortable in the entrepreneurial journey, and I'll be debunking some myths here. It is not an easy ride. It's not for the faint hearted, but it gets really, really comfortable once you start getting easy with being uncomfortable. The more you can let go, the more you can be like, this is my idea, this is how I want it. The more you can just let go of that, the more you can let go of, oh, I will fail, and you can just get comfortable with failing. Really, 90% of your job is done because now you can go out, you can experiment, you can be really quick at experimenting. Entrepreneurship is just that, like, do it quickly, fail fast, improve, rise up again, and repeat.
So that's awesome. Just being able to make a decision, go with it, run with it, doesn't work, then pivot and go somewhere else, you know? Make the decision, run with it. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The only thing I would say there in terms of total pivoting, like you don't have to total pivot, but just make sure that break down what you are doing, break it into steps, as many steps as you can, and see if there was some part of the step that you can already do, because otherwise you can get caught in an endless cycle of just reworking and redoing, renewing things all the time. This is where people go like, oh, this offer did not work, so I have to do another offer. Well, but did you dissect your offer? Did you see what part did not work? So you don't have to rework and redo the whole thing. Maybe there was just one part in that whole thing that did not work. How about you fix the message somewhere? Or another example is sometimes people are just in the wrong position, like they're in the wrong marketplace. You could just put it in another marketplace, which is where your buyers would be, and then the whole thing would work. Simple tweaks like that. Like first,
Yeah.
fully test out what are you doing, where it's not working. And I actually haven't found anyone so far where they've had to completely give up everything. Often you can tweak it and it works. But there was
Right.
that tweak, there was that insight that was missing.
Nice. Why scaling a business requires a different mindset than starting one? What's the difference in
Ah,
mindset?
yeah. So we talked about going from the corporate one to like starting on your own, where it's like a completely new field. Now, in the beginning, and that stage time can vary for people, right? Sometimes for some people, it might be 6 months, some people, it might be 3 years, but there's a time till you are hustling and you can actually scale. And that hustling is required because in the beginning, there is a lot of work in a business. You've got to set up a lot of things. You might be hiring new people. You might be also learning a lot of things. That is hustling. It's operating a lot
Yeah.
and you're just getting up to speed with things, right? But that will not work ahead as you scale because, and I'll give you an analogy again here. Think of a pot and you've put a little plant in there, you buy a little seed, it can grow for
Yeah.
some time in that pot. Yeah. And then there's a time when the plant cannot outgrow that pot, so it just stays that size.
Yeah.
So you repot it, you put it in a bigger pot, and suddenly it's like, oh, it has so much capacity now. So now it can grow more, it can bloom more, it can flourish more. It's the same thing with entrepreneurs as well. We can hustle to our first level, we can grow to a certain stage. That will not take us to the next scales or the multiplier effect. For that, you need a bigger pot, you need bigger capacity. You need maybe more teams, you need more systems, and you need to have a lot more white space in your daily time so that you are actually creating more opportunities and doing other things rather than doing your business. So the business runs on its own and you focus more on growing it. That's the scaling mindset. That is the mindset. An initial mindset was the operator mindset. This is more the owner mindset that I own the business. My team can do it. I'm actually growing the business.
So what are some signs that you know that you're outgrowing the pot and it's time for a bigger one?
I love it. I love the question. The signs would be that when your calendar is just getting overtaken, like, you start doing things and you feel like your day is just very busy and you wanted to get to something, but you can't get to it, your day is just too busy. That is that is a big red sign. A yellow sign might be that, okay, the day is not as busy like that. Maybe you've got some people and so on, but you just don't have the thinking space. So, this is maybe usually the time when businesses are earning, but even then, you are spending time with your family, you are doing other things, but there's still times where they're needing you. Like you might be needed on the weekend, your team is still asking you for some questions, your business does not run without you. That's that yellow sign. And then you want to make sure that there is a system in place so that it just happens by itself and you can do your other thing.
Okay.
Other thing meaning like you can grow and expand and you can bring out more things to do in the business. And system running by itself would be, for example, most of us don't get up and think in these days, where is our water going to come from? Or how am I going to get electricity? Like
Yeah.
we just know you switch this,
Mhm.
you put the switch on, it's going to be there. And your business should be like that. Like, yes, there will be things in between that you will do, like we all go and we all pay our bills, but more or less that's about it. And maybe once in a while you need to upgrade something, you need to change some bulbs or that stuff, but usually it's done. That's pretty much how your business should start operating so that you're not operating inside it, but that's how your business should run so that then you are free as the business owner to do and grow it, increase the impact, make your vision a lasting legacy.
I like that. And you mentioned systems a lot. So, what are some of the once you get to that next level of no longer being the hustle mode, but now you're in the growing phase? What are some of the systems that you recommend a person looking to systematize to help free up more time?
Yeah. So in the beginning, the easiest ones to implement are automation. So some of the things are being done automatically for you that allows you to free up your time following leads, for example. Now, systems, actually, before I go into it, let's even just define system. What is a system? System is something that runs and does it by itself so that as the owner, you do not have to be involved in it and you do not have to decide for it. Like you set it up and it just works, right? So there could be very simple automation systems. Today, AI is there as well, so that can be integrated. And then the other thing you should invest as a business owner definitely is in hiring a team. And even as team, I see people go through shifts. Like they might hire a team and that team might be a team of just doers, but they're still seeking you for everything. So maybe you have the team to edit your podcast, to put up your social posts. Maybe you have that team. But if they're coming up to you for everything, hey, is this post okay? Is this caption okay? Are these show notes okay? Is this editing okay? If you still have to do that, you're still involved in the decision making. It's not running without you. So, enabling or being the owner of the company is actually that shift where your team can decide by itself. And if I give you an example here, when the team decides by itself, it does not need the owner in the room to be able to make those decisions. So, the example would be, let's say, a company like Apple. We all could probably make a judgment around what products Apple would do, what it would not do. We could do that because there's brand clarity around there. Like we know it needs to be simple, it needs to be intuitive, it needs to be innovative at some level. We all would have some judgments, some because we're not exactly Apple employees, but we would have some understanding of that.
Yeah.
The more you can clarify your brand, your ethos, why, what you do, more you can make it just crystal clear for your employees and they understand that, the easier it is for you to become the business owner. So it becomes imperative for you as the business owner to enable your team to raise them up so that they understand the company, they understand how you work, they understand how to decide, and then your time is not taken away by doing all those decisions, but they can do it on your behalf.
So I like all the information you're sharing, Kanika. You are coming in here, you're sharing your systems, you're sharing the pitfalls, the things that happen with new entrepreneurs and business owners. And I appreciate that. So, how to design an offer that clients instantly understand?
Love that question. And we talked about it a little bit earlier
Yeah.
as well, right? Um, think of something that you would like, and definitely think of something that you would like doing at all times. At least, yeah, because it is going to be your passion project. It is something that you're going to be very deeply involved in. And then go and test it out. Have a ball playing and testing it out with strangers. Just say to them, like your offer statement, it's just a short one line. This is what you do. And see if people ask you questions, if people are interested.
One of the final questions I have for you is why are many service providers stay stuck at the same income level for so many years? What makes them stay at that income level for so many years?
Yeah, they stay stuck because of mm, the there can be a couple of reasons. So one of the reasons could be, well, this is my baby and I need to look after it. But it all really boils down to all these reasons, all these symptoms, they boil down to not repotting your plant. Sometimes it can be because you don't want your baby to be bigger, because you really want to be involved in everything. Sometimes it can just be, well, I want it this way. Um, so it's just that. But if you're not able to shift from that operator mindset to that owner mindset, the growth is going to stall somewhere. And as long as you are in that one, it's just going to be a lot more effort. The other thing that can sometimes stop people here is also just finances. And that's actually something that uh, is worthwhile to discuss, especially with business coaches, because it can be a myth that, hey, how do I report? How do I do all these systems? How do I do this? Uh, but business coaches are there to help you really understand what is the biggest bang for your buck. Because I can guarantee you that there is cost of staying and not growing. And there's a huge uptake if you actually repotted and the plant just blooms. It's a huge uptake. So just work it out. Even before you sign a business coach, most of them will be able to tell you, or at least I do. I tell you the results you can expect, and we work out what you can expect so you can actually see that. That's what I work with you towards. And then you can make a very confident decision whether you want to invest in that growth or not, because you compare it with the speed at which you are going to progress, which is going to involve a lot of effort. Whereas the other option would be growth, and growth that aligns with your life goals, with the time and freedom that you are seeking. And often that upside is a whole lot more enticing and fun.
Thank you so much, Kanika. And the last question before we get out of here is what is one thing that you thought I would ask, but I didn't ask?
I don't know. I don't come in with expectations. Like I just show up and it's like whatever you would like to ask, you would ask. It's your show. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't come in with I'm not judging you at all. But I definitely enjoyed the show. I think maybe we could say, well, what would listeners maybe what should be one takeaway that they haven't heard yet? And so I'll have a think of what did we talk about. Well, I think we talked about entrepreneurship and we talked about how you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I wanted to bring the other side of it as well. It is the most liberating and the freeing journey as well. Despite its tediousness sometimes, despite the hardships and so on, this is the best gift you can give to yourself and the best gift you can give to your family and people around you. Because if you can truly step into your purpose and if you can do what you want to do, imagine how many people you inspire. It's a super freeing and inspiring thing that you can do. And honestly, it's a gift to the world. So if you do want to become an entrepreneur, if you do want to start your own business, please do it. Highly recommend it. It's a tough ride, but highly recommend it. Every bit is worth it.
Yeah. It is. It is worth it 100% and it's going to be hard. But anything happen that is hard, it's worth having. But definitely take the jump.
Yeah. And the other way I think of it is that there's always going to be discomfort in our life. Like,
Yeah.
really, that is a bottom line. That is life. You will either be uncomfortable staying where you are, or you will be uncomfortable growing. And I would rather be uncomfortable growing. Sure, there are growing pains, and it is sometimes like, hey, I don't know how this works. But guess what? What if your business works? What if this freaking idea that you have becomes so profitable and inspires so many million others? Like, have you seen the huge upside of that? Go ahead and dive into it.
Kanika, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your heart. I appreciate you. Guys, everyone that's listening, if you heard anything that Kanika said that resonate with you, go ahead and comment. Share your biggest insight in the comments below and let's have a conversation. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on next episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. Until next time, see you.